All right, we are back and we're talking all about Love for Lily. It's an event that's coming up in a couple of weeks surrounding awareness for PDCD, which I am not going to attempt to pronounce, but that's why I have Holly and Andrew here. Guys, thanks so much for being here on Evening Plus. I really appreciate it. So you are the parents of an adorable little girl. Also, you also have a son, you also have a third child on the way, but we're talking about Lily tonight because you guys have this event that you're putting on for the second time in a couple of weeks, and it's all surrounding awareness for a diagnosis that Lily received about a year ago or so. So start me off first with, PDCD. What does that stand for? What is this condition? What does it look like?
Yeah, so it stands for pyruvate dehydrogenase complex deficiency. I don't blame you for not trying to say it. It's a rare mitochondrial disease. So her body is unable to process carbs for energy. And so what it does is it creates like a life-threatening buildup of lactic acid. So when we were diagnosed a year ago, she switched over to the keto diet. That's really the only way to treat it. Historical data is quite limited because it is a rare disease, but 90% of kids, they say, will pass before the age of 4. We are hopeful that will not be the case for Lily, and we have seen so many amazing families whose children are thriving, just like Lily is as well. And for Lily, it presents in a few different ways. She has a visual impairment. You'll notice the glasses. She has hearing aids.
We've got some great pictures here. I mean, she is just the cutest thing. But yeah, so she's got her glasses on there.
Yep, and her hearing aids. She's got hypotonia, which is low tone. So she, like a layman's word for it would be like floppy. She's not able to really sit up on her own. But she's also able to do a ton of really great things too. We don't let her diagnosis define her in any capacity. So.
And you guys, you took this diagnosis, which I can only imagine how challenging, it is every day, but also just to hear that. And you took that and you said, okay, what can we do for her and for other kids and families out there? A really incredible way of dealing with challenging news. And so you had this first event this time last year. It's called Love for Lily. You guys have it on your shirts, which I love. What's this event all about? What does it look like? Talk to me a little bit about last year.
Yeah. So last year, it was 2 months after her diagnosis. I think we both just felt like there's so little you can do, and we felt really helpless, and we just kind of threw ourselves into this fundraising event. And I know at least my goal for it was, if we're doing an event that's just for our family and friends, you have a cap, you have a limited amount of people, and I wanted it to be the type of event where people would hear about it and they would just want to go because it seemed like a good time. And I really think we accomplished that last year. It was way bigger than I think we thought it was going to be. I don't have a count, but I would guess we had like somewhere between like 400 to 600 people that showed up.
We covered it last year. One of our reporters, Kara Patterson, was there. And so when I brought this up, she was like, I covered that last year. I went. It was so fun. There were a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And it happened last year at the Fulton Street Farmers Market, correct? Which is already like a huge thing as it is. But then to kind of incorporate that into this, awareness project, I'm sure only made it all the more successful. And obviously, so you guys are raising money for a foundation that supports, research for this disease, and just bringing people together to talk about it as a whole. I know I, for one, had not heard of it. Had you guys heard of it before Lily was diagnosed?
It's more common than Lou Gehrig's disease, which a lot of people have heard of before, but because it is not really profitable for companies to be able to conduct research and be able to find a cure for these kinds of things. And because they're so rare, it is then up to the parents of these kids to go out, raise money, find researchers, be able to make that happen. And we're part of an amazing network of PDCD parents and everything too. And they worked their butts off. Holly last year, we got the diagnosis in April. And by June, she had thrown together a market in a fundraiser that raised over $50,000.
That's
and she did it all on,
that is incredible.
She did it largely on her own.
It was very healing.
Wow.
Both years we've had just amazing community support. Like this year, there's been so many sponsors from the community. There's been people who sponsored last year, people who came forward this year, but then tons of donations of different prizes and goods and everything too. It's been really cool, and we've seen so much progress for Lily. Lily last year, she couldn't roll. She was missing milestones, and we kind of just were like, what do we do? And so Holly is an occupational therapist. We got hooked up with occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy. We were able to go to a therapeutic intensive clinic in Chicago. We've just been very fortunate to have the resources available, and now Lily's rolling. She can sit up with support. She's starting to sign. Like last week, she started to sign more for the first time, and that was the first time we've been able to see her communicate with us, which is just an incredible thing. We don't want to put limits on her. We want to keep exposing her to things, but just seeing her be able to do stuff like that is incredible.
And I love that you guys mentioned a moment ago too, you know, the disease does not define her. She is so much more than the diagnosis that she received. I mean, just from those pictures, you can tell how bubbly and fun and bright she is. And that's a whole part of this journey for you guys as well, is that, you know, this isn't all of her. There's so much more to her than just her diagnosis.
And she like loves her brother. So Theo.
There's one picture I
Theo
think we had where she's like got him. Oh, so cute.
And he plays with her, plays around her. She loves wind, and when she experiences wind, she kind of will make this amazing face, and she's just hilarious and bubbly and super fun.
And so you guys have kind of part two, the second of this event happening just a couple of weeks on Saturday, May 3rd, again at the Fulton Street Farmers Market here in Grand Rapids. You know, similar to last year, but I'm sure you guys are hoping to do it bigger and better this time around. Walk us through kind of what it's gonna, you know, look like for year two.
Yeah, so it's it'll be Sunday, the 4th.
Sunday,
that's
sorry.
okay. So we're just we're like a little over a week away, and we have a lot of similar things. Last year, I think we had around 80 or 90 vendors that signed up, you know, because so many artisans had already had their markets booked. Because we started planning so much earlier, we are fully booked. We have over 120 vendors. We have Rapunzel making an appearance. We have raffle prizes. We have beer and wine. We'll have a photo booth. We have an amazing photographer who comes and does personality portraits. Permanent jewelry, face paint. I mean, it's the goal was for it to be like a family-friendly event, and so last year the weather was beautiful. We had water tables for the kids to play with. I'm hoping to have the same. Some really incredible raffle prizes.
And so we have an Aiden Hutchinson signed jersey. We have a Traeger grill. We have a private chef curated tasting for up to 15 people.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome.
We have family photo packages, spa packages. Like we have a watch made by a local watchmaker.
Really cool.
And so all sorts of different things. And it's you can purchase day of, but if you can't make it, you can also visit the website where we have our raffle prizes listed. And that's all on her Facebook event page and everything too. So it's really easy to find, and we welcome any kind of contribution.
And you know why? I just realized why we have the graphic here with the correct information. The farmers market switches to main season on the 3rd.
It does.
So then that's why that's what was in my brain. But we don't want to get it mixed up. The event is Sunday, May 4th. It starts at 11 o'clock. Again, this is at the Fulton Street Market, which is here in Grand Rapids. There's the address if you want to jot it down, but it's a great sort of open space, which is really awesome. And you guys have all those great prizes because then all of the proceeds are going to go to the PDCD Foundation to work on that research and that awareness that you guys are so passionate about.
Yeah, we don't keep any of it. And all of the vendors who are joining us have agreed that they want to donate 10% of their sales that day as well. So yeah, all of it will go to the Hope for PDCD Foundation in the hopes that that we can find a cure for Lily and kids like Lily. And
it's Mother's Day the next weekend.
There you go.
And so come out, get a gift for mom.
Have some wine, shop a little bit, and know that it's going to be a good day. I know.
Well, I so appreciate you guys being here and talking about your journey as a family, and this incredible work you're doing in our community is just so great. Again, Sunday the 4th, mark your calendar, and thank you just so much for joining us and talking about this. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for giving us an opportunity to talk about her and to talk about PDCD and help raise awareness. Because, I mean, like Andrew said, it really, with rare disease parents, it just depends on us to bring that awareness. So we really appreciate the opportunity.
Well, kudos to you guys for taking something and turning it into such a beautiful journey. That's really incredible.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back talking about the Berlin Raceway.